Hi, I want to just make an update about my Uber driving experience and things that I've recently learned and things that I've experienced and the good and the bad and everything. So if you have any questions specifically or you want to know about various circumstances or things that might happen um, or any funny stories, let me know. So I don't have anything written down. I just really wanted to do an update. So here it is. So I know that it's been a few weeks since I've uploaded, and that's because I got sick, and so I went about a week without driving, and it killed me. And basically it was just sinuses, and I don't have allergies normally, and I don't have sinus problems normally. I usually just get it at when the seasons change. So once a year usually, and it's coming from the winter to the spring usually is when I get it. I might get a little sniffly, but this is where I had a little bit of infection, and my body was just, anyways. So I had that, and it's really important for me to work because this is my only sole source of income currently, and I am trying to think of other ways to bring in money and other, adventures that I can take so that I can really be more self-sufficient and all that. So I'm working on that, and so if I get anything going in that, I will definitely share it as well. So anyways, I am in 3 groups on Facebook, and they're all Uber delivery groups, not the other kinds, not the other platforms, So I have been thinking about signing up for the other platforms, but I have not done that yet. Just because I kind of feel like I want to go slowly. I want to take one at a time and get used to it and then keep going. So with that being said, I have already added passengers to my account. Actually, I have 2 Uber accounts because back in 2015, I actually drove a couple of trips, which I never got paid for, so I'll get paid for it now. And then when I wanted to do delivery, because I wanted to just do delivery, I just thought I could do that. And some days are just slower than others, and I just think, why limit myself? And I'm fine doing passengers. It's different than food. But I think that it will be good for me. I'll be doing both. And so when I first did my Eats, I made a new account. I didn't think about my old account because I just thought I wanted to do delivery. But then after doing it a while, I got more comfortable doing it because, like I said, I did a couple of trips in 2015, and I felt awkward. I don't think I was awkward. I don't think people think I'm awkward. I felt awkward, and I felt a little nervous, and they were late at night, like the bar rush, and now I kind of have an idea of what I want to do. And so, not the bar rush, but I'm not going to say no for sure for it. I just, I don't know, maybe, but I don't think I'll start with it again. So I made another account for my Eats. So now I have 2 accounts, and they're both active, and they're both ready to go. And so with that being said, I've also signed up for Lyft. So like I said before, I know I keep saying that, sorry, is I want to add different platforms, different apps to my arsenal of what I'm doing gradually. This is because I haven't really done this a whole lot. I don't know too much about it, and I don't want to get overwhelmed. I really want to be successful with this. I really want to get as much information and as much experience with me. So when I am working, when I know when I'm put into different situations, I will have a better sense to do it. I also don't want to wait too long, because I feel like if I wait too long, I'll get a little too, I'll prefer the first one. So, of course, I'm doing Uber for quite a while. So I am risking that Uber will be my number one, but you never know, I guess. So I want to start doing passengers this week. So still just Uber Eats, which I really enjoy. In the groups, people complain about tipping and all of that. I don't work for tips. I really appreciate tips. Anyone who's ever given me a tip, I am 100% grateful, appreciative. I think the world of all of those people. Tipping, I do feel like it does kind of even out, maybe. Whatever that means. Whatever that means. But I don't ever expect it. And I don't ever think I'm going to get it. With that being said, at the same time, some people, I would expect them to tip. Okay? Just saying. And who would those people be? Who would I expect to get tipped from? Well, if I'm sweating when I get to your door, probably. And I don't mean from the heat. I'm in Texas, so yes, it gets hot here. So if I step outside of my car, I most likely will be sweating. But if I have to do a lot of legwork to get to your front door, and you do not give me proper instruction, and I don't need step by step instruction, I guess. Especially if it's pretty clear, but I do need some sort of direction, especially when it comes to communities, such as apartments or even neighborhoods that are kind of community-like, I would think. So, I'm just saying. If I have to park my car and get out of it and walk stairs and figure out doors to enter a building and figure out where things are, and you're gonna be waiting longer, one, and two, yeah, I should probably get a tip, in my opinion. Of course, like I said before, I do not expect tips. So if these people do not tip me, I'm not mad. I'm not gonna go on the internet and complain. I'm not gonna go someplace and complain. This is not me complaining. This is just who I would expect to tip. People who run out and meet me in my car, these people, I do not expect a tip. I'm not saying that they don't tip. They do tip. But if they didn't tip, they didn't tip. And this goes for anyone, really. So tipping is a controversial subject when it comes to delivery driving. I would just really recommend, no matter what market you're in, not to expect tips. If you want tips, I guess you could find a way to coerce people to give you tips. I don't do that. I want to respect people's decisions on tipping or not tipping. And the truth is that most people, they want their food. They want to eat. They're not going to be thinking of me, right? They're not going to be like, oh, before I eat, I'm so hungry, but before I eat my pasta, let me go in the app and tip. Like, no. Like, I don't have that expectation. I also don't have the expectation that this person, after eating, is going to think of me. I don't want them to. That's creepy. I'm just saying. Creepy. But other people are different. Not everyone's like me, so whatever. The best thing to do, I think, if you're a customer and you want a tip, cash. It's right then and there. If you want, if you don't have cash, it's totally fine. People have given me change. People have given me $1. People have given me $20. So I've had it all. I will not say no to money. And if someone's like, hey, all I have is this in my pocket, can I give this to you? Will you? I think the reason why they ask me is because people get offended. People get offended by $1 tips. I don't get offended by coins. Like, money does not offend me. I'm happy for money, so that's just my attitude. It's different if I was a server. So if I was a waitress at a restaurant and somebody left me change as the tip, like if the amount was like $17.31 and they left me, what is that, 69 cents as my tip, that is known to be the insult. Okay, so or 2 pennies or something like that. That's the insult. So for me, I'm not insulted. I'm not a server. I'm not a waitress. I am a delivery driver, and for an app, not even for these restaurants. And so I just think anything I like. You want to give me anything? I'm fine. Money, I'm good. You want to, yeah. So I won't ever turn down money. I'm the kind of person, though, when I'm walking through a parking lot, my head is looking at the ground because I found a $20 bill one time last year. So I'm just saying that people drop money all the time and not just pennies. And I'm fine with pennies as well. I think it's weird if somebody gives me a handful of pennies as a tip, but I don't think I would turn it down. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it. So you might have a different opinion, which is totally fine. But yeah, so that's just my thing. I know a lot of people, they have issues with the tipping system, and according to these drivers that do use the other apps, since I don't yet, the tips are they're higher on the other apps, but it looks like they also get paid less for the delivery. I'm not sure exactly on how everything works, so because since I don't use those apps, so I'm fine. I do know that Uber is changing how we get paid. I'm not sure yet. I am in the Dallas area, so I'm in that market. So when it changes in the Dallas market, I'll be able to report on that. But until then, it's just what other drivers are experiencing. So that's just what's happening there. Okay. So another thing I want to talk about is when restaurants request us to perform their job. That will require filling drinks, picking up chips, I don't know, anything else probably. Probably not behind the counter stuff, but anything on customer side counter, it's possible. Okay, so as far as I understand, it's optional for drivers. I have been told a multitude of different things from various drivers that it's against the law here in Texas to do that. If any, I did go to culinary school, so I used to have, a food handler certificate and all of that. Mine's expired now. But, so I do know, like, all those kinds of, like, rules of hand washing and all of this. I no longer have the certificate, so according to the state of Texas, I'm not supposed to be handling food. Filling up a drink for a customer is said to be handling food, preparing an order. The order is supposed to be prepared 100% by the restaurant. Drivers are not supposed to be preparing these orders. So, in my experience in this area, in my market, the Dallas market, the biggest culprits of restaurants requesting me, from my personal experience, I'm not sure of other places, but would be sandwich shops. Because the stuff is on the customer side. They don't have things behind the counter, I guess. So I guess that's why. My only real issue to doing it, well, I have two. I have two. One is it's not my job. I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in that field for years, and it's already an abusive industry. And at this point, they're abusing people who don't work for them. I don't work for them. Like, I don't work for these restaurants. I don't work for these companies. If they pay me to fill up these cups, I would do it. No problem. Like, no complaining. Okay? But I've been in the car. You don't know the last time I've washed my hands, because I've been in the car, and I am in Texas where it's hot. My hands are on a steering wheel, and those steering wheels are usually in the sun. So my hands are usually pretty grimy, okay? So when I go and pick up, the food is supposed to be in containers, and that container is supposed to be in a bag. That's like 2 levels of packaging, and so the food is pretty safe from me and my grimy hands. They're also supposed to, I would recommend to wrap the drinks in a, like I said, in a secondary packaging, because like I said, we are delivery drivers. We don't wash our hands. We don't have sinks in our cars. It doesn't make sense. You also don't have sinks like available to the customers. So unless we go into the bathroom, and I mean, yeah. On top of it, Uber doesn't give us the drink at all. Sometimes we don't see that there's even a drink on the order. And if it is, it usually just says soda or fountain soda or something. And so if we're not given that information, it's basically saying it's not our job. So that's my first point, is that it's abusive, it's taking advantage of drivers, and all that. I said I had a second thing. Oh yeah, the second thing that I have a problem with it about is the way that I'm told. Like, I'm told. Like, I'm not asked, I'm told. And I'm not told like I'm working with them. I'm told like here's the cup, and this is what they want. Like that. Like, I'm just like, what? Yeah. So I would also be a little bit more willing to do this if the people behind the counter, even if they're lazy, even if they don't want to do it, even if it's a power thing, if they just said, hey, could you please fill up this drink? They want a Dr. Pepper. They want a Coca-Cola. They want Sunkist. You know, whatever it is that they want. Asking instead of demanding. I'm just saying, I don't work for you. But, whatever. So, like I said, I'm a pretty new driver. Excuse me. I'm a pretty new driver. So I'm going to be honest. I've just kind of given in every time. The last time that this happened, I informed the person behind the counter, the one that gave me the cup and told me what it was. And I just said, hey, just so you know that this is an option for drivers. And she wanted to argue with me about, this is what her management said, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I'm not telling you my opinion. This was my attitude. Like this really isn't up for discussion. I'm just telling you the fact. It's a fact. Fact. And then actually I got my first complaint, so that's another thing I'll talk about if you want to hear about that. So I thought it was from this restaurant because her attitude was pretty bad. I filled up the drink, I delivered the food to the customer, everything was fine, whatnot. But she did have a big attitude with me, as if I was going to argue with her. I'm I'm not into all that, especially if I don't work there. Like, what am I fighting for? I don't know. So I don't. And even when I do work there, I still am like, what am I fighting for? Really? Power over filling up a drink? Like, it's a drink. It's a drink. So like I said, my hands are usually not clean. And I usually I try to touch just the bottom of the cup, and I do it as quick as possible, and then I just do it as quick as possible. I have talked to Uber about this at my hub, and they said, well, maybe you can just tell them you haven't washed your hands. Like, tell them that. And so I might do that next time. But something I'm going to definitely do is I'm going to call customer support while I'm on the delivery. So that's the only part of Uber that can actually help you with Eats, is when you're on the delivery to call them. It's in the app. And I'm going to do that next time. I'll probably follow through. I'll probably do it anyways, just because I want to just make sure no complaints. But I did get a complaint, so that's another thing I'll talk about. But Uber said it wasn't this restaurant that made a complaint for me, so I don't really know. I mean, it's not like they're even going to tell me in the first place, because they said that they wouldn't tell me who because of retaliation. Like, what am I going to do? Go to the restaurant and yell? Like, I don't know. Also, there was no there was no reason to the complaint, so I don't really know what I did. So I don't know how to fix it. So, yeah, there's that. So, back to what I'm saying. So if a restaurant does ask me to do anything, I will inform them that I have not washed my hands for several hours. And I did tell Uber that I could go in and record how they talk to me, just because, like I said, it's not in a respectful manner that they tell me. It's very demanding. It's very like, no, this is what you're going to do. Like, no, what? Like, you do know this isn't my job to, like, do that. It's not hard, but it's not my job. And so it's very tedious, and it's very low-minded to argue about this kind of thing. And I think veteran drivers, I don't know, they seem to not do this. But as a new driver, I just don't know. And I know that they say just don't do it. Like, we're not supposed to. It's against state law, all of this. So like I said, I'm just going to comply, probably. But I'm going to I want to record how they talk to me. And so that way I can have that as evidence of just how they talk to me. Because I just don't think it's very respectful. I don't think it's very professional, especially, well, I mean, even if I worked there, it's not professional to talk to anybody like that. You know, it just isn't. So, one of these places, actually, there was a customer in line, and she was actually disgusted in the fact that they asked me to fill the cup. And that time, I did refuse. Actually, I didn't do it. I just said, I'm not supposed to do it, and, all this stuff. So, yeah, there's that. I don't really know. But like I said, I'm just going to call Uber support for Uber Eats when that happens in the future. And I'll probably just be doing it, and I'll just see what they tell me to do from there, because nobody at the hub or Uber support normal can really give me any real advice. And I don't know how people contact Uber about these things and get those screenshots. I have no idea how to do that. I've gone in my messages, but I don't know how to send a specific message. So, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So I did get my first complaint, and it really bothered me. And it was unprofessional with business. And so, like I said before, I have no idea who that was for. I have no idea what I did that was so unprofessional. I'm the same way everywhere. And that's why I thought that it was that place that asked me to fill the drink, which I did. But I did let the girl know that it's an option for us. So I thought that it was them, but I don't know, right? We don't know. So, anyways, okay, so if you do get any complaints, just keep working. It's going to even out. I think it's really important just to always stay within yourself and to remain controlled. So there was an instance, and I'm pretty sure I shared it already, about one of the other drivers being refused service. I think it's just really important that if you are in a situation that is not ideal, to call Uber. That's what I'm going to do. You know, how is Uber going to fix it if we don't report it, if we just complain about it, if we just cancel orders, if we just decline orders? You know, Uber's not going to know the real reason. I did report that location to Uber. I went to the hub, made a formal complaint, and I was told that they have an operations team here in the DFW area where when they get these kinds of reports that they go to these restaurants and they talk to management and they get them worked out. To this day, I have not gone back to that restaurant. I only went there that one time and I haven't been back. So if I ever do go back, I will definitely report more specifically on it. So if you want to hear anything about that, if you want to know if I do go back or if anything's changed, that would be nice. I do go in the area quite a bit for that location. So it's just, I guess it's just, odds if I get it or another driver. I do know there's quite a bit of drivers here in the Dallas area. I do know that we do go through the same areas. As I've been driving, I've been running into more and more drivers. Yeah. I usually try to be nice to drivers. Today, I was just a little short with one. But, you know, whatever. I just don't like... I have like my moments of like dumb questions that I can't handle. That's it. So, I don't know. I think if things are obvious, why ask? It's weird. It feels like people are trying to find excuses to talk to me. I don't know, and I just like get turned off by it really fast. And then when people get mad, they just get mad, and I'm just kind of like, like what? Like what? Yeah. So that's about it. I haven't worked too much lately, but I'm going to. Hopefully, I feel a lot better. And my energy is much higher. I'm getting things in my life a little bit more organized, and I have so much more work to do on myself. But I am really hoping that this week I'll be able to really earn more money doing passengers and doing eats, and so that way I can report on it probably next week. That would be amazing. Yeah. If there's anything specifically that you want to know more about, please let me know. I'm more than happy to think about it or give my view on it. I'm sure that there's a lot more experiences that I've had than I've shared, of course. So this just isn't confessionals, this is just documenting and sharing and maybe connecting with people. I really love the idea of drivers sharing what we're learning and how to handle various situations, because when you're in the moment, it's very stressful. It can be high stress or low stress, but it is very stressful because you are in the moment, you're in the situation, and you have somebody's food or you're waiting on somebody's food. So various situations have happened, I guess. I could go into those more specifically. I just don't want this to be too long. I'm going to... so definitely let me know. And, yeah.